In this problem, we have a rational inequality. In other words, there's an inequality symbol right there, not an equal sign, and there's a rational function, in other words, a fraction. And we need to be careful how we handle this, because I'll bet everyone's first instinct when they see this is to say, oh, well, I'll just multiply this by omega plus 8 on each side, right? Omega plus 8 over here, omega plus 8 over there. And the left side is going to be 0, because anything times 0 is 0. And the right side cancels out those things, and it makes it simpler, right? That makes sense, except for one thing: you can't do that with inequalities. That whole multiply each side by something, it's risky business when you have inequalities. It works when you're multiplying both sides by something like 5 or 2. But as soon as you start multiplying both sides by a variable, you're in dangerous territory, and here's why. What if that variable right there is a negative number, right? Let's say omega plus 8 is negative 3. If you multiply both sides by a negative number, you have to switch that inequality around. Remember, when you multiply or divide by negatives, inequalities flip over. So we don't know whether omega plus 8 is positive or negative. If it's positive, the inequality stays like it is. If it's negative, the inequality flips, which means if I just go ahead and multiply, I don't know which way the inequality is going to be facing. So we're stuck unless we use a sign array or graph it. You could always graph these things and solve them that way, but I'm going to use a sign array and do this algebraically. On my sign array, I want a couple things. I want x-intercepts and I want vertical asymptotes. Okay, so let's write those down. X-intercepts. What are my x-intercepts? Well, there's an x-intercept at 1, 0, right? And there's also an x-intercept at negative 4, 0. I'm getting those from factors on the top. And there are vertical asymptotes. We've learned about those in graphing rationals. My vertical asymptotes are really just x equals negative 8. Or if you want, you could say omega, but it's really the same thing. Omega equals negative 8 is my vertical asymptote. That's coming from this factor down here. And I'm going to put all those features on this line graph. So here's negative 8, my vertical asymptote, and here's my x-intercepts, negative 4 and positive 1. And now what we do is we put all those factors on here, x minus 1, x plus 4, and just so we can keep this straight, I'm going to use a different color here. We're going to have x plus 8. Okay, I think I did all that right. Okay, great. Now x plus 8 is positive almost everywhere except values less than 8. Whereas these other guys, x plus 4, for example, is only positive above negative 4, and x minus 1 is only positive above 1. Okay. Now we multiply down, and we get our answer. So we've got a negative sign right here. 2 negatives times a positive makes a positive. 1 negative makes a negative, and all positives make a positive. So there's my sign array. And because this function right here is greater than 0, I'm looking at this and this. Here's my solution. It's going to be negative 8 to negative 4, and don't go ahead and write this down yet because we got to talk about one more thing. 1 to infinity. Okay? So you might be thinking, great, I'm done. Here's what's still wrong with this. I saw that greater than or equal to, and I put square brackets instead of curvy brackets because I'm thinking, okay, I'm allowing 0 values. But where are those 0 values actually happening? It's only at the x-intercepts. If you're actually at the value negative 8, look what happens if you plug negative 8 into this. If you plug negative 8 in here, you get some number on the top. Okay, I don't know what that is. But on the bottom, you would get 0. Negative 8 plus 8 equals 0. And something divided by 0 is not going to give you 0. It's going to give you infinity. So we cannot have negative 8 in our solution set. It's going to be a parentheses. Okay, so this is the actual answer. We need to pay attention to whether these factors are coming from vertical asymptotes or whether they're coming from x-intercepts. That determines the nature of the bracket or parentheses.